It's your boy Scoot, man. Welcome back to Banger Buddy TV. I'm with my guy here, the dark goth child. Oops. It's your boy Scoot. Welcome back to Banger Buddy TV. I'm here with the dark. No, I'm gonna get to that. It's all right, it's your boy Scoot. Welcome back to the show, Banger Buddy TV. I'm here with the Dirty Goth Boi. And if you guys don't know, aka Mikki right here, he's not only a very talented human being and a winner at life, he is a pro gambler, he is a philanthropist, he is a motivational speaker, and he is like one of those guys that you guys call influencers. You look up to him, you want to be like him, and he has a lot of swag and sauce for the world. How are you today?
I'm good. Today's a good day.
It is a good day. So tell us a little bit about you for people who don't know who you are, and like, you know, like a sentence or two. Who are you?
So my name's Mikki. My online persona is Dirty Goth Boi. So I came like basically from like kind of a rugged background, like childhood stuff like that, and I went into business even though I don't look like it. I was like super corporate America, owned like healthcare facilities, clinical laboratories, one of the country's biggest telemedicines, drug rehabs, things like that. And then I sold all my businesses a few years back, and I retired. And I'd always been involved in gambling and like fairly high stakes gambling. And when I retired, I had like a lot of extra cash and all the time in the world. I ended up moving. When I retired, I moved to Los Angeles, and just being so close to Vegas, I just was like in Vegas more than not, and I turned out to be really good at high stakes gambling. Now I'm one of Vegas's winningest players of all time. I'm like ranked top 4 in history for skilled baccarat players, and I'm banned from most of the city of Las Vegas.
Now, how did you get into baccarat? Isn't this like a Chinese game or something like that?
I'm really good at math, and I figured out some strategy, and then my winning stats are.
But not only do you have to be good at math, you have to speak Chinese too, right?
No. I just speak English. Honestly, I get a private table, so I don't even talk to anybody.
That's good. So you're fluent in Chinese, fluent in baccarat, which is a game people don't know how to play because it does. When you look at it at the table, you can't put 2 and 2 together, right? When you look at it, people, it doesn't make sense. So when there's a guy like you, which is this a rare breed, can understand what the table map looks like, because no one would ever understand it. A rare breed can look at it and make the money from it, which is you.
Yeah, basically in a nutshell.
The girls are chasing you. You're not chasing Tails is chasing you. You yourself is bigger than a pop star. So what is it like to be on this level?
I'm still like sort of trying to like figure it all out, you know?
So with a guy like you, all the money in the world, you can travel anywhere. You can spend anything. You could buy any drink. You could buy anything. Is it a dog or is it a cat?
I don't have any animals.
What now say if you was gonna pick an animal, which one do you want?
100% dog, 100%.
Because they protect you.
Yeah, I'm also deathly allergic to cats.
Now, when you walk in the casino and they see you put your big bets in, and you're breaking the casino down, and they're like, they have no more money to give, and then they tell you what, you're kicked out of here.
It's circumstantial, and like every casino does it differently, and the way they ban me is differently. Some of them give me lengths of time, some of them give me like contingencies. A lot of them like let me go back and make deals with them to let me back in. So I mean, it's really case by case, super circumstantial. But
if they look at you and they knew that you can buy their house, their grandma's house, their auntie's family, everybody in the family's house, they wouldn't look at you like that. They would look at you like the person you voted for. You voted for Biden, right?
I definitely did not vote for Biden. I'm not eligible to vote, but even if I was, I still wouldn't.
So you telling me they kick you out of the casinos, they don't let you vote, they take your rights away. This is because you're so good at winning in life?
In part, yeah, in part.
At these casinos, if there's any rule that you can break and just want to do, if you could put like 5 million on one hand of something, what is something that you wish you could play that they don't allow in casinos?
So in Blackjack, I don't play any bonus bets, right? They're all sucker bets, but there's a couple that could make sense, like depending on other factors like your sizable bet and things like this. But a bet that I'd like them to do is when you match the dealer, but allow you to get paid on odds for matching with the undercard also.
Now, when you're sitting there with the other players, are they more stupid than you?
I would say I'm probably the biggest idiot at almost any given time in any given room, particularly on a gaming table. And when it comes to like gaming, you can usually tell that I'm the biggest idiot based on the fact that I'm gambling the most.
They don't know you have good health because you owned healthcare companies. What is your craziest run in gambling?
I took $200. I had like 2 black chips, like $100 each. I sat down at a blackjack table, like $25 table. And I played it. Long story short, it took me 3 days, and I leveraged a lot of casinos. But that 200 ran to about 800,000. And after like commissions and tipping and stuff like this, I cashed out. It was like 683,000 or something from $200.
You telling me 2 black chips, 600,000?
Yeah, a little more than 600, but yeah.
You did this.
So so it was like October. It was like October 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and on the 3rd is when I started with $200.
Do it again. Do it again. What does your mom say about all this?
My family hates everything that my life stands for. They despise the fact that I gamble. My whole family, minus my parents, are like sick gamblers. So they feel like, you know, they've seen it all. It always ends bad. They've been ran through the ringer, and they're like super against everything I do, and they hate the gambling.
And what motivates you? Like, what even got you into gambling? Like, I'm finna gamble and I'm gonna be professional with this money.
I came from a neighborhood that was like super encouraging of gambling. You know, as young children, we like gambled with a lot of our parents, stuff like that. One time I beat my buddy's dad so bad, he ran out of cash, he had to write me a check. I was probably like 10 or 11 when I did that. When I got older, I always continued gambling. I always was like super excited by it, and like the fast life, the women, the cars, and the hotel rooms, and all this stuff that came with it. And then when I retired from my businesses, and it just I was doing it for entertainment, but my win stats were like so off the chart, and I was like raking in so many millions that it like averaged out to me making like $1 million a week. And
you rich as fuck. What's your favorite car?
Ever? I like the Koenigsegg, I guess, but I use my McLaren as my daily driver.
You pulled up in the most sickest McLaren I ever seen, next to the Banger Buddy legendary Goyard Lamborghini. It looks so good next to each other. They look like they're fucking.
I'm a huge fan of that Banger Buddy Lambo. It's wrapped in Goyard. And hands down, Goyard's my favorite brand, my favorite pattern. I love Goyard so much.
Goyard's only available in Dubai, fucking London, the guy Goyard's house, and Banger Buddy's closet.
I'm gonna start shopping in his closet.
Is there any car that you look for, like you really want, you anticipated getting or really want to get?
I think I'm gonna get the new Escalade in a diesel. I found one here in Vegas like a few weeks ago, and then I just like things came up. I had to like leave town. I didn't buy it, and like 100% it's sold by now. But probably I'm gonna grab that.
What is your legacy gonna be? What do you want your legacy to be?
That I proved everybody wrong my whole life, and then as an adult I proved the whole system wrong.
You fucking heard it here first. I know you have some of the craziest parties. I went to one of your parties before. You had like 100 girls in there, and you were in one of the most rarest villas in Las Vegas. You can't even come to this casino. It's the MGM Mansion Casino. You was doing your thing. Now I know you have a lot of crazy stories.
So I think the party you came to, I had the whole top floor of the mansions, and I think we had like 1,000 people there roughly, you know, between the ins and outs. I don't know. I don't want to say if it was that one or another one. I used to do it like every 2 weeks. I'd throw like, you know, like a party like that.
The one I went to?
Yeah.
You rich as fuck.
I do want to say for the record though, I'm like a faithful, loyal guy, and you know,
you was faithful. You just had it popping.
So I used to like go through these phases. So I used to bang a new girl every day of the week. So like my baseline was 7 girls a week. But when I would throw these parties, we'd have to like schedule it, right? So I have this assistant, and he helps me a lot to schedule the girls in and out. So what I usually do is I take like a block of rooms underneath the party room, so I can keep girls in there, so I can go in and out, because it's really hard according when everyone wants to party and drink. Like it's hard to like track all these girls down that I know are trying to smash.
Hold on, David. Say this again.
Yeah. So under the party, I keep like another block of hotel rooms, right? And so I would schedule these. My assistant would help me schedule these girls. Say like I forget what all the room numbers are, but let's say it's like 1 through 10, right? So each girl we would have in these rooms, and then we keep them for like a little while and cycle the girls out. So what I would used to do is like, I'd see one girl, go to the next room, see another girl, go to the next room, see another girl, go to the next room, see another girl, go upstairs and chill for a little bit, come downstairs, see the next girl, see the next girl.
Rotation.
And while I was chilling, like taking my break at the party, whichever girls were finished would leave and we'd send new girls in. And never whores. Like I don't pay for sex. I don't like trade cash or drugs or anything like that for women. Not at all. It's like, you know, it's like to have a good time.
How do you invite them to be in the rooms of rotation?
So, I mean, they pretty much know what time it is. I mean, a lot of them are like really excited to meet me. A lot of people are excited to meet me, particularly a lot of these girls. I fly a lot of them out on the PJ, and I introduce them to a life like they would never known otherwise. You know, like if they're celebrities at the party, like, you know, like big names, whatever. They're really excited just to like be there. They want the invite back or whatever it is, or we're just vibing. So most of them know what time it is. And the same thing, like I tell most of them, I was like, hey, listen, like I have other girls I have to see after you, so like I can't finish, you know what I mean? So we'll just like smash for a little bit. You can top me off, whatever.
So does that shit hurt?
What?
When like bitches throw their pussy at you like frisbees. Because David Epstein. No, because he said I have a room under the house and the girls are all there. I said, oh, okay, David Epstein. You know, is that his name? Is that not his name? Epstein told me. Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein. There you go. I thought his name was David Epstein. I'm stupid. Just put a little part in it. Who the fuck is David? Oh, okay, David. I was like, y'all were like, David, what's he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about? So how many girls have you smashed? Like, what's your body count?
I don't really know. I've only been asked this like one time, like in like my like recent adulthood. And when I don't remember like how I figured out this number, but I sort of take a guess, and I'd say somewhere between like 1,000, 1,500, something like that.
This is very good. This is very impressive. So you now is as rich as Walmart. What is it that you want to do? What is the final goal in gambling? Is you going to retire from gambling? How far is you going to go? What is the plans in life? What do you want to see? Where's the older Mikki sitting? This younger Mikki's working for?
I'm not going to gamble forever. It's kind of old anyway. It's like super stressful. You know, people like only understand one side of it. They just think like, oh, you gamble and you win, or like you're really good and you win, you have great strategy, you win, you're lucky, you win, whatever. But there's so much politics behind the scenes that like nobody that doesn't gamble at my level can possibly like empathize or understand. It's really tiresome. It's really hard. It's really political, really like tough to navigate. So it does come to an end, and I'm basically nearing that end. So, you know, I've won whatever I've won, and basically what I'm doing now, and again, most of the casinos have banned me. I'm not able to go to most places in Vegas. What I'm doing now is the few places I've left, I'm gambling for other people. A lot of people like ask me to gamble for them or teach them how to gamble and things like that.
Literally, while you were sitting here before you could sit down and do the interview, you had like 3 calls, people coming in trying to send you millions of dollars and all this stuff, and including you have celebrities such as superstar Michael Jackson of today. You have friends with Drake. I saw Drake followed you on goddamn Instagram. What's this all about?
A lot of people, you know, hit the DMs and ask me to gamble for them. Like a lot of ball players, a lot of NBA, a lot of NFL, a lot of actors and singers and rappers. But yeah, before we started recording, Drake had hit me up. We talk like every day. He wants me to gamble for him. I don't know if I can say too many details, but he asked me to come out next week to Miami and see him for his album release party. We'll play a little bit, you know, somewhere in that general region, and then I'm gonna come back with some cash and play pretty heavy for him here in Vegas.
What's your favorite Drake song?
Honestly, I say Back to Back, and I think that's a funny one to pick because it's like contextual. You know what I mean? It's all about like the context.
Honestly, I don't know what conceptual means.
No, it's like context based. You know, like Back to Back being like a diss song and whatever it is, diss track. But I think honestly, not just is the flow super good and the beat fire, but I think if you really took apart like what he says in that song, it's like just like straight heat. But I also like the Chicago freestyle.
What's the last thing you shoplifted?
I stole 2 hats from Lids when I was 19, and there's a more story to it. But anyway, I
you still like tuck it in your nuts or like
nah. So that's what happened. So I used to like collect mad hats and sneakers, and I had these hats, and one of the hats didn't fit. And I was like, let me try to exchange it. And I brought another hat that I did wear. And I brought it. I was like, let me just see. And the dude gave me mad attitude. And I just didn't like the way it came off. So I was like, all right, I got something for him. So I just grabbed a whole rack of hats out of the store and just took off.
Swear, hell yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, he came after me. He ran after the store, and like we threw down. So
he went to his little imaginary line across and like,
yeah.
Get back here.
Yeah, but except that he crossed that line. He ran. He chased me through the end of the mall out the exit, and he caught up to me, and we just like threw down. Yeah.
Damn, and then you took 2 hats and got away with the 2?
No, that's not exactly how the story ended, but that's the bulk of it. Yeah,
what's your favorite sexual position? Like how you be smashing? What's your favorite one?
Honestly, I'm like a really big fan of getting head. I like just like chilling out, laying back. I feel like I work a lot throughout my day and I'm moving and stuff. Sometimes I just need to chill and be served.
Yeah, that's the right way. I knew it was a really sad situation, but I really was thinking about the next question, and it was like, does your fart smell like money?
No, I don't think so.
So I noticed that you have hella money. So I noticed you have a scar on your face right here. What's the story of this scar or birthmark or whatever this is? It looks like, you know.
So it's a scar. It's actually a letter G that we carved into my face. So when I was like doing like tattoos and body mods and stuff like that, I was like getting my face tattooed like I think before SoundCloud even existed. I think before Chipotle was popular, you know. So like,
so you've been getting tattoos before Chipotle.
I don't really know when Chipotle started, but way before, I was getting face tattoos before anybody can make a reference that I look like a Chipotle bag. So it's been like a while that I've been like really heavily tattooed. I stopped getting tattooed a bunch of years ago, and I've been removing them actually. What was the original question?
Did you see Lion King?
So the scars. So I was like, people are like getting face tattoos and like catching up to me, and I'm like, it's kind of whack. It took away from having face tattoos the way I did. So me and my homie, we decided we're gonna do some scarification. So I drew up a super gothic letter G, and we put the stencil around, and we actually cut some tattoos out. But if you look, it's a letter G.
Holy smokes, it's the letter G on it. It's so gangsted out too. What about no, we can't talk about that one. You know what I was talking about? Have you ever tasted your
I haven't. I'm actually grossed out by it.
Okay. What's the craziest place you ever fucked?
I mean, like, I've done it at the zoo. I've done it, of course, in church. Like, I don't know, man. I don't even know.
What about in your mother's house?
Yeah, of course. You know, I've, like, banged out on her bed before.
You're such a rock star. You're a professional winner in life. And looking at you, you're just going to be qualified and eligible for the best things on earth. Do you understand this?
I appreciate everything you just said.
So tell us a little bit how you grew up.
So I was born into an affluent family in Central Jersey. I was like honestly, I was like a bad kid. You know, like when parents are like, "Oh, don't hang with those people; they'll get you in trouble." I was those people, right? So, like pretty early, I was like in a lot of trouble. I went to like a juvenile prison the first time when I was 15. And since then, I've either been homeless or incarcerated. So I spent like most of my life on my own, despite like what I could have had with my family. It ended up not being my journey. Between ages 15 and 21, I spent more years incarcerated than not. And then after 21, I spent more years homeless than not, until finally I just like had enough. I spent like lots and lots of time living in cardboard boxes. It actually wasn't cardboard boxes, so where I lived mostly. You know those like shipping pallets, those wooden pallets? Exactly. So one time when I was living out in Washington Heights in New York City, there was this dude, his name was Shorty. He had robbed me out, you know, like a little back before that. And I caught him back out there, and I said, "Yo, man, like what do you want to do about this?" He goes, "I'll let you live in my box with me and we'll call it even." I said, "Show it to me." And this was in the wintertime in New York when this happened.
Freezing.
Yeah, so he had built a hut out of these crates, right? He like put 4 on the bottom, then on the side and on the top, and he used a tarp to protect from like the elements, because it was like covered in snow through the winter. And so in Washington Heights, like it was Highbridge Park actually, most of like homeless people live like underneath the park, like where like sort of the bridge is by the side of the mountain. What he did, which I thought was really smart, was he was on top in the park where everybody's like walking by with their families and stuff, but he was camouflaged behind the trees, and the snow covered his thing so perfectly that it was peaceful, quiet. We weren't going to get robbed by like the other homeless people, because no one really was in that area, and it was just like the best place to be in that setup. And that's actually where like my life started to build, was while I was still living in that box. So from there, there was like a small chain of events that took me back to Florida, where I'd lived previously. My homie, who was from New York, living in Florida, doing well, said, "Hey, if you can get down." Long story short, he contacted my mother, who had found me out in the street one day, and said, "Hey, I spoke to your boy Charlie Hustle. He said if I ship you down to Florida, you can stay in his house and he'll help you out." I said, "Okay, anything beats being homeless in the snow, you know?" So I did that, and when I landed, he didn't even take me to the house first. He took me to his friend's tattoo shop a couple towns away. He said, "This is your new job. You're going to scrub their toilets and mop their floors. You're not going to get paid, but in return, I'm going to let you live in my house for free because you bring nothing to my home." And I said, "Deal." So he gave me like a few dollars, like $20 or something like that. And every day, I'd make the $20 last. I would walk however far to the bus stop, take the bus 2 towns over, walk to the shop, scrub toilets all day, not get paid, walk back to the bus, take the bus two towns back, walk back to the house, and that was my day. I wasn't really eating much. I didn't have money to eat. I'd only eat when someone gave me leftovers. Once in a while, someone would bless me with like a month's supply of ramen, and that's really how I survived. One day, the landlord of the house came by, and he just looked at me and he goes, "Yo, kid, I'll pay you $100 for half a day's worth of labor. You want to do it?" I said, "Bro, I'll do anything for $100. Like, I need to eat." He's fine. This is in South Florida now. It's summertime. He goes, "You're gonna paint the outside of a house." I painted a house. When we finished painting, he goes, "I'll pay you $100 to come back and paint another house tomorrow." I said, "Fine, let's do it." And then by the end of it, he's like, "I'm just going to pay you $100 a day to just work with me full time." I said, "Fine." I worked hard enough that he was able to take other jobs and leave me behind. So he's making double the income with the same amount of expense, same overhead. So he bought himself a new work truck, and he gave me the old work van. And that was like my first car. That was like my first like adult vehicle. And I drove this thing everywhere. I took it to the club. I took girls on dates in it. I went to like, Shabbat dinner in this thing. My boys put lawn chairs in the back. We like pushed the tools and the dirt away and put lawn chairs, and that was like my vehicle. And I drove it till it didn't drive anymore. And then somebody gifted me a Toyota, and then that was like my next car. And I did this anyway. So what happened eventually was he took a contract with sober living companies down in Florida, and they seen me trying to like better myself, better my life, work really hard. They came to me one day. They said, "The contract's up. You guys have done all that construction. You're out of work. Do you want to work in-house with us?" And I was like, "I don't know what you do." They said, "If you work half as hard in with us as you did out there, you'll be fine." I said, "Okay." I took the job, and I seen all these like idiot kids driving brand new Beamers and Benzes, and I'm like, what are they doing? So I just watched really quietly. I just did my job every day, and I watched quietly to see what they were doing, and I said, I can figure out what they're doing. And I figured it out, and I started doing it. So then I went to other companies. What I did was I said, "This is how much I'm getting paid. This is what I'm doing. Can you beat it?" They said, "Yeah, we can beat it." Then I go back to the initial company. I say, "Hey, man, I got offered more money to do the same job. Can you match it?" Right? They say, "Yeah, we can match it." I will immediately that same day start hunting for another company. I say, "This is what I'm doing. This is how much I'm getting paid. Can you beat it?" They say, "Yeah, we can beat it." I go back to the initial company. I say, "I got another offer for more money. Can you match that?" They said, "Yeah." I keep doing it until finally the initial company's like, "No, we can't afford that." I said, "No sweat. I already locked in the other job for the same amount of work." I took the other job. And once I get that other job, I start going to other companies saying, "This is what I'm doing. This is how much I'm getting paid. Can you beat it?" They say, "Yeah, we can beat it." I go,
You just fucking jobs fucking smashed and dashed. It's for the whoever got the more cash.
Yeah, and by the end of it, as they were paying me more, they started expecting more, but I started learning more, and they were paying me $500,000 a year.
That's where you got your corporate experience that you said that you had like the whole corporate. So yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, so then by the end of me leveraging this job position, which was an entry-level job, I was basically a janitor, essentially, right? That just took on more responsibility. By the end of it, I'm getting paid $500,000 a year. And at that point, I knew what it was like to be homeless. I knew what it was like to be hungry. I knew what it was like to save every penny and not have to ball out. So I had all this money stashed away. And I said, "I figured out what all of you are doing. I can make the money you're making to afford this $500,000 to me and not have to lose $500,000 paying me. I can do it myself." So then I started opening up my own drug rehabs, my own clinical laboratories. I owned like a few hundred pharmacies. I owned one of the country's biggest telemedicines. I did lead gen for sales companies. I had call centers all around the world, and just everything kept expanding as fast as possible. I took every dollar I made and just expanded every company I could. I even like started a Shark Tank situation. We had an office. It was our headquarters that had lots of different rooms in it. And me and my partners would sit in there and we just spitball ideas. And one of us would be like, "That idea seems interesting." We would entertain it, investigate it, research it. And then if we decided it could be profitable, we'd give it a try. And this would help build my network so big, just like knowing people. And so we just staff a little room and say, "Hey, try to work on this product or this service and let's see if it works." And if it works and it was profitable, I would then sell that whole company to somebody else.
It's almost the true American dream. No matter if like you're gambling or whatever it is. Now, some people may like gambling. It might be distasteful to others, but it's not their lives or opinion to say what you're doing. But your story from where you came from, they can't say shit about what you're doing because they don't know what it takes and what it's like to be in the streets in the freezing cold in New York City. Fucking, do you know how hard it is? Sometimes I'd be outside. Every time when it's cold outside and I'm outside, I say, "Man, I wonder what it's like for homeless people." And anytime I'm outside and it's too hot and I'm like sweating in the Vegas heat and shit, I'm like, "Man, what is a homeless person like? What are they dealing with?" And like you had to really live that, and you knew what they were really dealing with. And to get all the success you have today, you deserve it. It's a blessing from God. Everything, the businesses you created, which not only those businesses you created, also gave other people opportunities in life too. You gave people money. You transferred blessings as well. You don't know what those employees, how they're living life was like. or what it was for them to pay their bills and all that. You created opportunities and jobs for people, which is also more of a blessing. So you have all kinds of blessings coming your way.
I appreciate that, and I hope everybody prospers, and I do whatever I can to help.
What is your biggest win you ever had? And I also want to know, what was the first time you had like your biggest single win, like when you was first into the gambling? What was it?
Well, my first win that was like big enough where I like really felt something about it was like $8,600. Right? I remember I was in Florida and I was playing, you know, I was like a black chip player. I was like $100 a hand type deal. And when I cashed out this 8,600, it was like really big for me. That was like my first win. I was really young, but when I did that, I was like, wow, this is like baller. You know, I even thought to myself like, wow, will someone like try to jump me on the way to my car? And that was the first one. And it wasn't too long after that at that same casino, I won a little over 75,000, like not too long after. And when I won that 75,000, that's when I like recognized, I was like, wow, this could be a thing. And it was really hard to make 75,000 net profit in a day doing almost anything, you know. And I was like, I just did that. It's pretty tight. My biggest single-handed win of all time would be, I think that time that you and I met, actually, when I had that party, when I cashed out the 11,526,000.
That's what I saw that. You had it all in cash. It was all cash. Oh my goodness. How does that feel from the $8,600?
It's kind of surreal, right? So like I look back at some of my homies that I always gamble with. I'm like, bro, can you like believe that we went from being standard gambler? Even when I cashed out 8,600, like that was kind of big, you know. Most people don't gamble like that. And I was like, can you believe we went from gambling 8,600 to cashing out, you know, 11.5 million?
It's a movie. Rockstar lifestyle. Dirty Goth child.
Dirty Goth Boi.
All right, I got it. I'm not even trying to be. All right, Mikki, thank you for your time, man. I love the story. You're an amazing human being. You're the best in the world. Nobody could be you. Nobody could gamble like you. Nobody could breathe like you. Nobody could get fucking girls throwing their goddamn coochie at you like frisbees in the world like you. You're a great-hearted person. You're a great man. And I appreciate listening and spending time with you. And I can't wait to go turn these 2 black chips into 600,000 tonight. And I'll share my story with you guys on another time. Signing out. It's your boy Scoot Scoot.
And he lost to
This
Mikki.
is over a poker game?
It's over and then he lost to Mikki.
A binky?
To Mikki. Mikki,
Oh,
the professional gambler.
Oh, this guy right here. Y'all were playing poker, and what happened? Did you see?
Well, I won the whole tournament.
Of course. Duh.
But, so Paris had been knocked out already, right? He lost. But he's standing behind him. And he goes, he's not sure what to do. So I like raise, whatever. Paris tells him, you should fold. He decides, no, I'm going to go all in.
He toward him.
Yeah. So I call the all in. And I belted him. I beat him, you know, knocked him out. So they've been fighting all night over if Paris was in the wrong for putting his hand on blast before I made the decision.
Okay, that's what happened.
I was
Okay.
calling anyway.
Ain't no blood. The second we see blood.
It's over. You won.
Fire.
You won.